There is an ancient lesson called the two darts. In short, it says when the first dart pierces us, we feel pain. The pain of the second dart is the result of how the mind reacts to the first. This is how suffering originates. It's important to remember that the mind's way of creating secondary pain are natural reactions to life's challenges. We might say, being human, we shoot many darts. Therefore, when you suffer, there is nothing wrong with you or any failure on your part. Rather, our suffering offers opportunities to practice mindfulness so we suffer less. When we feel pain or even subtle unpleasantness, we often think, I will be okay if I add something more to this moment. This is desire, one of the ways the mind creates suffering. I will be okay if I hold on to something, cling to it, or possess it. Captures another way we experience desire. Desire includes both the urge to add, pursue, and change things we believe will make us happy, and the impulse to hold on to something we believe our contentment depends on. Everyone recognizes the natural desire for things we believe will bring us more happiness. A new car, a bigger TV or home, more money, more status. We might buy something online and feel pleasure for a short time, only to return to boredom or a quiet dissatisfaction. The conflict that produces suffering comes from seeking contentment in things that offer only limited and fleeting satisfaction. We suffer because we get stuck in pursuits of satisfaction that lead to more pain and disillusionment. One feature of addiction is a reoccurring cycle of desire. Addiction to alcohol, drugs, sex, eating, shopping, gambling, social media, and our devices gives rise to seemingly irresistible urges to pursue pleasure. People with severe addictions and those with mild everyday addictions, gotta have my Starbucks, are caught in a reoccurring loop. Craving, temporary relief, and then more craving. Simple everyday experiences can show desire and clinging. For me, this happens when I eat Oreos. There is enjoyment in eating the first cookie. Before the cookie is even gone, my hand is reaching for the next one. I want to keep the pleasure going. When I lack mindfulness, I forget that it is impossible to hold on to enjoyment because of the impermanent nature of all things. The tension between chasing pleasure and trying to hold on to something that cannot be possessed gives rise to suffering. There can be joy and sorrow in eating Oreos. We can feel this in the body, a subtle tightening when pleasure, satisfaction, or our sense of stability ends. When this happens, we are prone to react by not wanting what is already here. This mechanism of suffering is aversion. Nikki and I had a couple from the Midwest visit us. We knew one of them smoked and worried about how we would manage it, so we accommodated her needs as best we could. After the initial excitement of their arrival subsided, I noticed the lingering smell of cigarette smoke. It was unpleasant. I felt irritation and anxiety grow. What I wanted, very simply, was for reality to stop smelling like smoke. Fortunately, mindfulness was present. The clarity it fostered kept me from getting lost in this wish. Because I was not stuck in reacting, I was calmly able to raise the issue with our guests. Each of us made compromises that allowed us to enjoy our remaining time together. When I have a strong negative reaction, dislike or hate, irritation or anger, revulsion, I look for what is fueling it. Is there pain underneath? Is there a sense of threat? I also check to see whether I'm pulling away from a difficult experience that needs my attention to heal. Gently reflect for a moment. Think of a time when you felt a negative reaction. Can you name the feeling? Where did you feel it in the body? What did you do next? Move forward? Pull away? Distract? When getting more doesn't bring lasting contentment, and getting rid of what hurts us doesn't either, something in us may reach a deeper conclusion. I'm not in the right life. Maybe I should be somewhere else entirely. Recently, I had a phone conversation with an older gentleman who had lost his wife of more than 50 years. He was inquiring about grief counseling. His voice quivered, and haltingly he said, "I don't know what I'm going to do." There was a long pause. Then he continued, "I'm not sure I want to be here." Other clients have shared this sentiment. Sometimes people say they have thoughts of suicide because life without their loved one is too painful to bear. This is a common feature of grief. When this happens, it is important to assess the risk of self-harm. When the risk is high, mental health intervention may be indicated. But for many, wanting to escape what is here now after a loss is a natural part of grieving. It gives rise to a potent form of suffering, wishing things were different from what they really are. Despair can arise when we wish for a different life. No matter how deep our longing for life as it once was or should have been, we cannot escape the reality we are in. We want one experience, we have another. It is this tension between the two that produces suffering. In grief, our imagination can create a world from memories and feelings of the time before loss. The world the mind creates is incredibly compelling. It is a place where the loved one still lives, where there is no pain, where there is freedom from the demands of everyday life. This imagined world can be a source of comfort. But when we become enchanted by it, suffering can arise because we want to live there rather than in the life we actually have. Outside of grief, we can all recall moments when our minds created suffering by wishing things were different. Who hasn't wished to be thinner, younger, more beautiful, or to have more true friends, or a different life entirely? This is natural. When such wishes move us towards health and well-being, they can be wholesome. But when we become lost in them, they lead to restlessness, anxiety, and dissatisfaction with the life we have. Mindfulness has helped me suffer less. It helps me notice the tightening in my body, the moment when a belief arises that adding or subtracting from my experience will bring contentment. Mindfulness helps me tune in to dissatisfaction as it appears, and to see how easily it can lead me to wish for a different reality. I'm imperfect. Like all humans, I often miss subtle cues of pain beneath the surface. When that happens, I can react in ways that create more pain. Fortunately, mindfulness is always available. With clarity, I can identify the pain of grief and the other injuries of life that drive me to chase happiness or run from pain. With mindfulness, I have more freedom. I can respond to pain with attention, love, and kindness. This is what healing requires. Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said, "The past has already gone. The future has not yet arrived. The address of life is the here and the now." This is an invitation to be with our experience as it is. The present moment holds the possibility that things can be okay without changing anything.